all of us didn't necessarily have plans. Like after high school, I'm enrolled in this school and I'm going. Like, no.
What the?
Damn it! I was trying to save that.
Jesus! Oh my god!
Mimi.
Oh my god!
Wait, he got a Rex? Like, what was it?
I'm actually really disappointed in my lack of reaction initially.
No, I was like,
I'm really.
Rules like shit. I shouldn't have been playing with this joke the whole time. This is supposed to be my bow staff.
Oh my god!
That's what they call it now?
Damn it. Before we start though, Jamal made a comment that rings very true. We need to be clear about what our costumes are, and I don't know if anybody knows who I am or not.
If anyone knows anything about X-Men, they'll know who you are.
All right.
But for clarification, in case there's anyone watching who does not know who we each are,
Some creative liberties.
to my left this week we have
Remy, aka Ray LeBeau, nigga.
from X-Men, in case anyone didn't know. I am Khaleesi from Game of Thrones.
Mother of dragons.
It's like, what is it, like Gambit, right?
Yeah.
I was like, he said every name other than the one I actually really know.
His X-Men character's name is Gambit.
I don't know why.
Yeah, I was like, wait, huh?
And to my right, we have
Oh no, that's Skeeter.
Yo, I used to have a T-shirt like everybody used to ask me if it was the Flash, and I'd be like, no, it's not the Flash, and they immediately realized it was Skeeter Valentine's.
Yeah.
I wish I still had that joint.
So again, if that weird little giggle didn't, he's Doug. He's Doug.
Doug funny.
If you're like a child of the '90s, you would definitely like this outfit.
If you were a kid in the '90s and you were an introvert and a daydreamer, Doug was probably one of your favorite shows.
Captain Underpants.
Captain Underpants, and he just had his doodle.
Smash Adams.
Oh, and their musical numbers, like
Killer Tofu.
Banging on the trash can.
Megan on the trash can.
Yes, but the original Doug. They ended up redoing.
Yeah,
Doug.
the redo
the
wasn't
Disney Doug.
great.
It wasn't.
Like,
It wasn't
The
a
Disney
favorite.
Doug wasn't my favorite.
Didn't like it. So with that, now that we're all identifiable, happy Halloween, everybody! Welcome to the Two Guys and a Girl podcast. I am your host, Mimi, aka Khaleesi. We got ourselves Remy LeBeau, aka Gambit, aka Wally B, and we got ourselves Doug the Extraordinaire, known as Big J.
So I wasn't going to dress up. I think I've been making it clear on this show.
Yeah, you made it obvious last week. You're like, I ain't doing it.
But
What are we talking about this week?
So anyway,
no. My thing about it is I did not want to. Mimi did not force me. She alluded to that she would, but then she came today. She did not force me. I, early on this week, was like at home thinking, I'm on a team. Mm-hmm. My team really wants to dress up for Halloween. And you got to take one for the team. Even if that's not something you may not want to do. It's not like they were forcing me to walk the plank. So
you're making it sound like we did.
No, but I think when you're on the team environment, you gotta, like I said, it's not necessarily about, oh yeah, I'm not gonna do it. It'll look real weird. Gambit over here, full Khaleesi,
and just some
random dude. Yeah. Like what
are you supposed to be doing? We're bagging groceries or some shit.
I know black guys are normally scary, but you could have like, what is this, a political statement? No, I want it, but
I am me.
Yeah.
See me.
Yeah. But I was like, I was randomly when it came across Doug, and I was like, well, I have khaki pants and I have a white shirt. What I don't have is a green vest. So like Wednesday, I was like, let me go on Amazon, and I was telling her, surprisingly, it's kind of hard to find a green vest that's like not like you know, what you need, and then also like super expensive. Like they were trying to charge me $70 for it. I'm like, I'm not paying $70 for
searching in the cashmere section and shit.
I was like, yo,
like, is it gold laced wool you're trying to get a hold of? What's going on here?
Like, I don't know. I was like, I felt like Jamie was gonna pop up.
That's the Michael Kors of vests. Jamie, I'm not making fun of you, baby girl. I'm just drawing that comparison.
That's funny.
He's got his Michael Kors vest on right now.
He's like, actually, what you really want is a Chanel. No, but
that just reminded me of a scene of The Office when they went down to Florida and they was doing the little working for Sabre, about to open that store or whatever.
Yes, oh my god.
And they were doing, I don't know why, but they were doing a pyramid in that joint in the team building, and Todd Packer was on the bottom, and this was when Dwight had that surgery. And he was like trying to get on top of the pyramid, and Packer was like, "Quit your cooling, Shrew. This is a Van Heusen." And I was like, yo, Van Heusen is that brand that everybody only know about because it's always in every department store whenever you gotta get dress clothes to go somewhere when you was a little kid and shit.
Yeah.
You had, in high school, you had like, I don't know if you had it too, but you had like uniforms?
Yeah.
No.
Like, you didn't have uniforms? Mm-mm. Okay, we had regular clothes, so like our fucking school decided to be like a fashion show, but it wasn't like Gucci or nothing. It was all like, if you weren't wearing Saviano or like whatever.
Oh yeah, he was getting cooked.
Yeah.
This was regular high school shit.
Yeah, but like I was like, why does this have to be that though? Like why does it have to be obscure DC brands that, you know?
That's where we was at. And it wasn't obscure to us.
No, like
it wasn't obscure.
Our school was like, you know, the Gap, Abercrombie and Fitch, you know, that PacSun, that kind of stuff. Like you had like all of that going on, but we didn't have like.
Well, because you guys, because we're
out in the, you could say it, we're out in the country.
Well, then, like I said, there wasn't wasn't like a whole like tentpole city that like had like all of that kind of.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true.
That was more where I was getting to. Yes,
the
Winchester
out there is Winchester, baby, the hub of whatever the fuck that area of Virginia is called.
Frederick County.
Yeah.
It's Frederick County, Virginia.
Yeah.
Well, they name all these because there's a Frederick, Maryland too.
Yeah, it's like literally right on the other side of the border.
Oh, okay. Because I used to live in Frederick, Charles.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, like this is going to be a light show today. We're just going to be talking about our Halloween experiences. Yeah. And we kept it pretty heavy lately, so.
Time to light it up for real. At least for today.
We're very, very heavy. So like, I guess who wants to go first? Like, what are the like, as far as like with Halloween, what are some of you guys' like fondest memories of like haunted houses, or like how you guys used to canvass the neighborhood as to like what would like the houses you wanted to go to?
Yeah, trick or treat used to be different back in the day, man.
It really was.
Like, it was like a free for all almost. You know, like people. There's always like dangerous stuff lurking around corners and stuff, but like when we were younger in the 90s, like it was a lot more like relaxed in terms of, you know, everybody was out in the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. So everybody's parents were out there walking down the street. We try to kind of just, you know, let us run down a few houses or whatever. We were with our friends. There was always big groups of us. So like it was cool.
Mm-hmm.
But was it like, I feel like now in today's society, like you were going to be outside before that day and you were going to be outside after that day. Now I feel like the only time people go outside, especially in this generation, I could be wrong, is for like Halloween. Like you wouldn't see these people out, like, because normally they'll be inside playing Fortnite or something. They'll be doing something like that. But like if you weren't outside, like, you know, the term being outside has different meanings, but like being outside playing around with friends and just getting into trouble or doing whatever. Mm-hmm. Like now it's like, I don't know what it's like for kids, because I don't really see, like, kids around here are outside doing stuff, but like that, I don't know if that's like the norm though.
That's what, like, I know, you know, when we were coming up, like video games, like we all play video games. So just like this generation did, we play video games just as hard. Yeah. But like video games weren't good enough to keep you in the house for as long as they are now, yo. Like, that's true. There's only so many fantasy NBA Live 07 drafts we can do before like that shit make everybody want to go outside the driveway and play ball for real. You know what I'm saying? Now, like, I was playing 2K yesterday and I'm like in the jump shot creator And I'm sitting there just like going through this like 150 different like jump shots, default jump shots. That's before you get to the animations they add from real players. And I'm just like crafting my shot. And like I got it to the point where like it literally looks like me shooting and shit. Like I had old videos I had taken when I was trying to like practice. And I took it and matched it up with my jump shot. Like the fact that you can do all that probably took like an hour or something. I wasn't doing nothing. But the fact that you can do that.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking when you were saying, because like I guess the big difference between now is like you maybe had 3 shots to choose from back in the day.
Yeah, yeah.
Now somebody like you who has a background in like motion and like making something look a certain way,
just do it.
You could like all the tools are in the game.
And
you should see my like 2K my player. They literally look just like me and shit.
But you have the ability to customize it that way. So like you're not even creating a my player, you're creating an avatar.
Like a whole, yeah.
So and I guess that's what kind of gets into like that my player one aspect of like people in today's society. Like once VR comes, you
there is no more outside. The outside becomes inside.
But but see, I don't know if I like that. Like I said, I don't want to be the person, the old guy walking to school 15 miles each way uphill. But
in the snow.
Back in my day.
Isn't that fitting? You know.
I mean, you are wearing
Was it?
Nickelodeon in the house.
Nickelodeon, Rugrats, Tommy's grandfather. But like, yeah, but it's just crazy like how that situation comes on, because it's like, I wish, because I feel like you're missing certain social interactions that happen outside that you wouldn't necessarily get at school.
Right.
And you had to learn how to be around other people in a way that you had to communicate, and maybe there's someone you didn't like, or maybe there was someone that you guys had issues with, but you still had to deal with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now you don't necessarily have to, or you get even more toxic to where you get the online stuff where the kids are like talking all kind of trash to one another, talking about how they're gonna, F their mom in the B, and it's like, what if we?
I don't know. Like, what's the difference? Because like everybody should just do that shit in person.
Well, because there's no accountability. Like there's no immediate accountability.
Like, you're talking about say that.
Yeah. Not do that.
Oh my god.
Like imagine just you walking in your house.
What?
I was like, wait, I had to be clarified what he was saying. Y'all be saying stuff, so I had to make sure.
You're right. I do be saying stuff.
The threat of, not the action of.
Yeah, I meant saying it.
Oh
not
my
like
God.
you walking in the house and your friend is
what's
just
up,
effing your mom in the B, looking you dead in your eyes.
Stop it! Stop!
Wait, this is about Halloween. Wait, this is off the rails. This is off the rails.
Oh my god!
And this is my fault.
It is your fault.
I know. I'm throwing
You bring us back.
So, what are some of your Halloween experiences,
God.
Mimi? And 'cause you had some interesting stories about like homemade stuff that I was very curious about, because I'm like, what homemade treats are you having for Halloween?
Well, first of all, I guess this was, I don't know if this is an environment thing, like just like a neighborhood thing, culture thing, I don't know, because like back when I was a kid, when I lived in, there was I don't want to say this because it's going to sound away. I lived in a gated community for a while. Like,
oh, really?
But it's not one of those. It was out in the boonies.
It was just a community that happened to have a gate.
But
you know them jumps where like it don't never be nobody in there and shit. It's just like it's for show.
Like it was out like in the woods. Like everyone's houses were like spaced out and all this stuff. And so I mean it was not like posh people lived in this. But anyway, so you had clusters of houses and streets and things that you could you had like your rounds where you would go like to so-and-so's house and then so-and-so's house and for the most part you kind of knew, in a general sense at least, the houses of the people that you were going to. It's either, kids that you went to school with or, people that you saw from church or whatever. And so like once in a while someone's mom would have homemade treats where they would have like brownies or homemade like little bags of cookies or candies that they made themselves and stuff like that. And when I was explaining this to you, you looked at me like, and then I was like, yeah, and that's where the urban legend of razor blades and poison in the candy comes from. And you looked at me like you were confused because you're like, wait, weren't they talking about like people poisoning like manufactured candy? And I'm like, no, like homemade treats, like candy apples and stuff like that. And you were like, I don't know what you're talking about.
That was never in my Halloween bag or pail or whatever you want to call it. Like when I was a little kid, I had like
popcorn balls or nothing.
No.
You either?
Nah. Like it was candy. A lot of candy.
It was candy, but there was no homemade anything.
Because I'm like, tell me if this sounds familiar. Because I don't know any of my friends or any of their mamas who would be like, I'm about to bake a whole spread of like,
oh, hell no.
I ain't got time for that shit. We gonna buy this candy, and I'm gonna give it out the front door, and you gonna go to the other doors and get the candy they got.
No disrespect.
To be fair, that was the majority.
Yeah.
But these were like, oh, sweet, your mom made brownies or whatever, you know?
I got browbeat my mom to make any kind of treats or anything. Well, no, be like, oh, her extent of doing like something for Halloween was going to the store and getting some like candy, and that was it. And she would hand it out, and that would be like so. So back in the day, me and my dad would go out, and maybe like a friend or something. Me and my friend would canvass the neighborhood, and she would stay back and she would give out treats. Mm-hmm. And that happened. I didn't do it my 6th grade year. I think I stopped after my 5th grade year. Okay. But up until that point, I was always going out and doing Halloween and stuff. But like I never had a situation where someone was like, "All right, here's some snickerdoodles," and I was like, "Nah."
People give out like toothbrushes and apples and shit. Like, that was whack.
Toothbrushes?
Yeah, man. Like
I think I may have gotten like something like that. I think I may have got something like appliance or something like that.
Everybody's got at least one of those.
That's like one of those, tell me you don't want kids coming to your house without telling me you don't want kids coming to your house.
Like, just turn the light off and go to sleep, dog. Right. Like, ain't nobody got to know you home. That's what you're supposed to do.
How you get toilet papered and egged.
What?
Not that I ever did that.
No, but wait, people did that?
Toilet paper, like...
For not participating in Halloween?
Why do you think we say trick or treat? You don't give me treats, you get trick.
Oh, damn. See, yeah,
nah.
That was unacceptable for us.
Yeah, no.
Like, first off, somebody...
You get shot?
No.
I mean, just, you find out, like, say you go out with your friends and, like, in our neighborhood, where, like, in Holloway, where we grew up, right? And somebody toilet paper somebody else's house. And then, like, their mama find out about it and shit. You just ain't about to see that motherfucker for 6 months. Like, ain't nobody mama play that shit.
Yeah, that's what
you get found out, you toilet paper in somebody else's house. Like, first off, somebody gonna snitch.
Yeah.
And then when they do find out, it's just like Armageddon in your house.
No, imagine this very quick. So, if because I by the time I got to Holloway, I wasn't trick-or-treating anymore. Yeah. But... we know who in the neighborhood, not pointing at any elbows, who would do something like that. So it wouldn't be too difficult to figure out who did it.
Yeah.
And so therefore it would be like, all right, so now how do we handle this, right? Like, cause like now you know who did it. So then it's like, cause you're not just you're not doing that to the kid.
Yeah.
Like that's someone else's home that they pay bills. Like it's a whole nother level. So
it's
like
it's just a prank though.
No,
I know. But like to touch on the serious shit just for a hot second, we're in this place where like there's a lot of like middle and upper middle class people, but like all these people are kind of just like living at the edge of their means, and nobody really talks about that.
Yeah.
Right after we came, right as we were coming of age, the housing crisis happened, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And shit was bad leading up to that, which is when we would have been, you know what I mean? So, like, I just feel like there was a general sense of, like, you don't fuck with nobody else's stuff, because, like...
Yeah, home or something.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this ain't a situation where, like, people got, like, a generational wealth or stuff to fall back on like
this
that.
This could be someone's first home.
Yeah.
Like, first home, or in their whole
More
family.
than likely, like, most people in that neighborhood, like... It was probably their first home. Like, even if they had been there for, like, 15 years or something like that, it was their first, like, home, and they intended to only really have that one for the most part. That's just the mindset.
Just so we're clear, because I'm feeling like...
go ahead.
I'm like,
do your thing, yeah.
With, the standard, like, toilet papering someone's, like, bushes or trees, or... like someone being an absolute ass and going around and like smashing pumpkins after hours and stuff, like
throwing eggs, or like what you were saying.
I mean, granted, that's always on the extreme end, and like I never ever heard like going through school like where someone's house got egged. It was always Yeah, someone came through and like either stole or smashed my pumpkin. Someone toilet papered my house. Yeah. It was never like someone's house got like spray painted. No one's windows ever got broken. No one's cars ever got jacked. You know, that kind of thing. It was always very like physically harmless types of pranks.
The difference is like we I guess like they used to treat that shit a lot more serious than it was. Is the other part of it too. You know what I'm saying? Like they used to treat it a lot more serious than it was.
Gotcha.
So in your high school, did everybody like if somebody stepped on somebody's shoes, was that cause for like ruckus to go on?
You mean purposefully? No. Or just like I accidentally step on your shoe?
Like someone stepped. I don't know. That's the kind of the point.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, that would cause a little. Like if you stepped on someone's $200.
Yeah, you gotta be specific though. Like if somebody stepped on your J's or like your expense, not just like
step on your expensive.
Like somebody stepped on your shoes, like your nice joints.
Yeah, like that cause. That's a conversation. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, if we had that, I wasn't aware of it. But it was like if it's purposeful, then that's one thing. But if it's like, we're all crammed into this hallway together and you're going one way, I'm going the other, and I accidentally step on you, like, I don't think we ever had any real issues
I guess
that.
But I'm not saying, and here's the thing, I'm not saying that that's cool, necessarily, because like you said, accidents happen.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it goes back to the house thing, it becomes amplified. This means way more to me than what it would mean in other areas. Yeah. Like, it's a... Like I said, that sense of pride about your home and what's going on, and like, because I said, working a couple, like I know my mom at one point worked 2 jobs, and other people worked other. Like when they come home, this is our place of peace. This is the thing that they can hold up and say, this is my, like, not that I say that nobody else feels that way, but it's like a really big deal that they come home and their things are the way they leave it. My mom was very particular about making sure the house looked a certain way,
right?
Even on the inside.
Yeah.
Imagine screwing it up on the outside.
Especially when there was a chance of somebody like either like somebody was you were expecting company or somebody there's a chance somebody was gonna drop by. You gotta like, come on now, you gotta have your shit straight.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, thankfully, because we always handed out candy, our house
was always straight.
Always got left alone. At least in my mind, I never remember us having any issues. But but I mean, the candy thing, like that was what you I didn't understand that you were confused about like where the urban legend thing came from.
I had no idea. I heard about it. I remember, but I just always thought that was an excuse for my dad to go rummage through my candy and figure out which ones he wanted to eat. I always felt like that was a
because like back in the day when mass production of candy wasn't a thing, where everyone did like make homemade treats for kids. And granted, back in the day you didn't have like big communities where you went far and wide to go get candy. You stayed like kind of in your immediate space and you went to the local houses and like this mom made lollipops, this mom made caramels, this mom made popcorn balls, this mom made this.
Why can't they just get candy?
Because they started moving toward that once mass production of candy became a thing. That's what I'm saying. But the urban legend thing came from the homemade things. Like, that's why you don't take like the homemade chocolate bars because you don't know what they put in it. It could be razor blades, it could be poison.
And it just automatically, my mind goes back to the 1950s when I hear people talk about the razor blades and the candy. Because I don't know why it just seems like that was the era and that shit was really happening. And back then,
loved razor blades back in the 50s. I don't know why.
Yeah. And that's kind of sick. Why would you want to put razor blades in the kids' candy?
Because people
this
do.
In general, like that's kind of
just questions that don't have answers for real.
Yeah, and it's also part of an urban legend, so you never really know. Like maybe this was a one-time thing that happened legitimately somewhere, and then that story spread, and it became this thing on its own. So maybe it was an issue, maybe it wasn't. You never know with urban legends. You don't know.
So did any of you guys ever go to like a haunted house?
Yeah.
Been to a couple, yeah.
Like where's the oldest you've been to a haunted house?
It was a minute ago. I think the last one I went to it was 18.
18.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I can't be having no jump scares. Because if I'm a little kid, there's nothing I can do. But if I'm a grown adult, I ain't about to be. I'll be like, what? And the way society is now, I'd be a little nervous about: is this fake or is this real?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a real thing about like, someone taking advantage of chaos and doing like crazy stuff.
Yeah. There's a whole I think is it in Alabama or something? There's like this haunted house where like You gotta like sign a waiver to go in.
They have extreme haunted houses.
This is one
They have
though,
extreme
like,
haunted houses.
Yeah, this is one joint you go in there and it's like you could definitely like get
hurt.
seriously physically harmed and shit
Yeah.
by stuff and people inside of that joint. And you gotta like sign a waiver and shit to even go in
This
there.
is the Hunger Games? Like, why am I going into a place where I need to sign a waiver?
People are adrenaline junkies. They seek that thrill wherever they can.
So do you like have to have a weapon with you?
No. You go in with yourself.
Yeah,
that's
like,
it.
And
And you
it's
endure
like a regular haunted house,
whatever
but like
it is that
way
happens.
more serious.
Yes. I personally, I don't get it. Like, that's not my brand of entertainment. But at the same time, too, like answering your question about, like, for me, I think the last haunted house that I went to was probably, I was in maybe my early teens. Mm-hmm. For me, though, the vast experience of haunted stuff was the haunted corn mazes and stuff.
Yeah.
I actually participated in a few of those where, like, the one year I was fire hall queen when I was a senior in high school. One of the local fire hall, they did like a haunted hayride type of deal, and I was like part of all of that. So it was never really the haunted houses. It was more like haunted hayrides, haunted cornfields.
I got all that space.
Yeah, you can do so like chainsaws off in the distance, people screaming, people rattling like the cages and the corn husks and shit around you. Oh yeah, it was a fun time. Lots of fun.
Nah.
Is that not your thing? You don't like that?
No, in the middle of the dark, chainsaws go. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I'm not, like I told you before, I'm not into paying people to scare me. So I guess I wouldn't, I'm just not into that kind of thing.
My dopamine levels are fine where they at.
Yeah, it's a little...
Not really, but they find not going higher than they at.
Yeah, we don't need to be kicking them up anytime soon.
That's actually funny. I remember as a kid, me and my sister, when we lived in Italy for those 2 years, there wasn't like traditional going out, because I don't think Italians do it the same way. Mm-mm. So we had to go on base. So they normally had like parties and stuff, and I guess there was some trick or treating on base, but like that's not what we went there for. We went there for the parties, and then they had like a haunted house. Mm-hmm. And I remember me and my sister went through there. She probably won't remember this story. And like she's like, all right, whatever we do, we can't get separated in here. So you never let go of my hand no matter what happens. I'm like, all right, cool. But I remember it being, I was such a wuss. She had that, like, they had to push me to go because I was like, I don't want to go. And then she's like,
oh, Jay.
But I was like, I was like, all right, as long as I'm with my sister, I should be okay. It's like, she's 7 years older than me. So I go in, she's holding my hand. I guess I had to have been like around 7 and she was 14. So we go around and like, you have like the jump scare stuff, all the other things is going on. And I'm like, I'm screaming like, have you ever seen The Fifth Element and Chris Tucker? And
yeah.
Hey, go ahead.
Come on.
That's funny as shit.
And I'm imagining you with the wig and everything. With the hair.
What I do this coming?
Yo, you was messed up then.
That was not the best experience. But like, it was cool because it was like a cool trust thing with me and my sister, because it was like, she didn't let my hand go. She always made sure that I was right there with her, and we made it to the end, and it was like a sense of accomplishment, because I ain't for the dark and none of that kind of stuff. So it was really cool that I had a chance to experience that with her. But just Halloween has always been what?
It's just finish your thought because it reminded me of something.
Halloween has always been like, it was like cool, but it was like I wasn't a huge, like, there was only certain candies I liked. It wasn't like I was like a big fan of all the candies, like any sort of licorice stuff.
Oh, she was one of them old man kids.
Yeah, I was when it comes down to regular food, I'm eating anything, but candy.
Yo, I don't know why I just thought of this, but like, whenever we used to go to IHOP back in the day, you used to order 2 meals and be like, I'm taking one home, and then eat both of them. They used to crack me the fuck up, because like, he'd just be sitting there, and then like, everybody's talking and shit, and then you just look over and like, it's 2 empty plates.
He was a growing boy. He needed his calories. He needed his calories. calories.
Yeah, no, I had like used to get like the big steak omelet.
Yeah.
Young Jace was hitting.
Yeah, man. They still be slapping.
Nah, imagine it was like 8 of us or 8 or 9 of us just all like after doing whatever we were doing. Because it used to be like bowling and then IHOP or something like that. Yeah, so yeah, that was cool.
So no haunted houses for you?
No, we never did nothing for Halloween.
Not really, nah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, not as adults. Not like young adults.
I guess, I wasn't around for most of it because I was like away, you know what I mean, during like our younger, like when I was at LFAC College.
Yeah, because that would be like, we all would hang around each other like summer.
Yeah.
So like, because you and Will were coming back from like, school or whatever. But yeah. Did you ever do anything as as an adult, like Halloween parties or anything?
I mean, I love Halloween. Like when I first moved down here, actually one of my funniest like Halloween party experiences. It was probably maybe the second year I had moved down here. I went to a costume party with the guy I was dating at the time and his best friend. And that year I was like in a full pirate costume, like a pirate's captain.
Like Pirates of the Caribbean?
I think like with the crushed velvet hat, with the feather, the long sleeve, long tailed cape type of jacket, boots, like the whole night. Like I had a little like sword. I had everything but the parrot. And that year it actually had snowed. We had like 2 inches of snow on the ground for Halloween at this party. Because I remember at one point we were outside talking with some other, participants, and we were standing there. We'd been out for a while, and because I'm fully dressed, I'm nice and comfortable, and I'm warm, and I'm like seeing these girls like running in and running out of the house and dressed as like mice, and I'm a cat, and I'm like, bitch, you are in lingerie with ears.
These are sexy cats.
And a tail. You are wearing a bra and panties. You are not a cat. You are not a mouse. You are not a fox.
Sexy mouses.
These were I'm just gonna run around in my lingerie and put a tail and ears on me and draw whiskers on my face and call me I'm a whatever. I'm a cat. I'm a mouse. I'm a fox. I'm a whatever. And I'm like, nah, that's cool. You are freezing. That's what you are.
Real quick, one of my friends in college said the most hilarious shit one time on Halloween. She was dressed kind of like that, and they were like, "What are you for Halloween?" And she was like, "A whore."
I mean, you gotta respect. If you're gonna do it, just own it.
That shit had me
just
dead,
own it.
yo.
Just own it.
Cause like she said it Jones serious and shit. And like the other thing was she was older than the rest of us. So like she was like in her late 20s, I think. And we were all like 18, 19. And like she just said that shit all matter of fact sitting in the backseat of the car. Like what's your costume supposed to be? Cause she was like actually dressed up, had on heels and shit. She was like, "Oh, a whore," and then just kept on talking and shit.
Just nonchalant like that. Because like, and the thing is, I appreciate the fact that you can have a sexy outfit on and still have clothes on. Because the year either prior to the captain outfit or it was either the year after, I can't remember. I went as a belly dancer, and so I had on like the spaghetti strap top. I had on like the sheer long pants, and I had on the like little flat shoes. But I also had on like a full face covering. I had on like a long cape. Like I was fully covered. Like if I took my cape off, I still was fully dressed. Like I respect the fact that people who can do that balance between like sexy and not, I'm just doing it just because this is easy and it's just easy. Like you can be sexy and not be wearing like string. Like if I have to like negotiate you're wearing clothes and it looks like you're wearing this piece of string, I'm like, really? Come on.
Hey, like
come on.
For real,
we can be sexy and creative. Come on.
My thing is like, I don't know. if you like it, I like it. Whatever.
No, I mean, if you're cool with it, then whatever. But
if you look good in it, I like it. So
he's gonna throw that shit in there.
Ew.
No, but what would you say is your favorite costume? Both of you.
Man, I got a few good ones, man. Damn. My favorite one was probably T-Pain.
You dressed up as T-Pain.
And that wasn't even like nothing major. I had like
you had like the top hat.
I bought like a top hat, and I had made this chain out of a shoestring and some cardboard. And you remember when T-Pain back in the day had that chain that just said big ass chain?
Yeah,
it was that junk. and had like some sunglasses and shit. That was a fun one. Shoot, 1 year, matter of fact, it was a few years ago, I went out with Sump in DC.
Shout out Sump.
Yeah, shout out Sump. We went out, I was with Chris, and I was a detective. I had like, I found my dad's old like shoulder holster.
Oh, nice.
Joint they used to wear under his suit jacket and shit. And I got that joint, had a fake mustache, put on like, slacks and a tie and shit.
Nice.
Matter of fact, last year's Halloween was banging too, man. I had some good costumes. And everybody's seen a picture of me as Wolverine playing Guitar Hero on my Instagram. But last year...
At Mustang Wally.
Yes, at Mustang Wally. Is it Mustang _ Wally?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, at Mustang _ Wally on Instagram. But I also last year had 2 costumes because we were in not last year, the year before. We were in the office and I dressed up as a football coach one day. So I had on like one of my old DeMatha football sweatshirts and I put like a pillow underneath the gym. I had some shorts.
Did you have a visor?
Yeah, I had a visor.
Whistle?
Yeah, I had a whistle. I had some busted ass running shoes.
Yes! The full ensemble, like the khaki slacks.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
And then the next day, because we had like 2 days of this shit. The next day, I was a locked character from a fighting game.
Oh, that's cool.
I had all black. I had like my face covered. I had shades on. I had a black hat.
Oh, that's actually kind of
I
cool.
like that. That's clever.
That's cool. Yeah, the lock character.
That was fun.
Because on Mortal Kombat, that used to be like kind of like, oh, I wonder who that is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's like you kind of like see their silhouette like moving, and you're like,
I can't wait to unlock that.
Who are you?
How about you, Mimi?
I'd have to say that my favorite costumes were either that pirate costume or this one. And
this is a good one.
And I say this one purely because the last time I wore this was almost 9 years ago.
And
shit.
So she was very, for the audience, she was very happy that she still fit in it.
Yes.
And Mama works hard.
Mama does work hard. Yes.
Mama works hard.
Guns!
That's what's up.
Mama works hard. But I like this one, I think, probably just a smidge better than my pirate costume because my husband dressed up as Khal Drogo.
Yeah.
And so he had, like, I colored in, like, his beard. I gave him the scar. He had this, like it was a Dothraki outfit. So he had, like, the long leather pants with, like, the boots, and he had this big vest on.
And he already had the hair.
And he had no.
No.
He had just a tiny little bit of like growth.
Oh, he had
we had to. So there also came like a hair extension. So I had to weave that in to give him a little bit of one. He did have the beard, so I was able to braid his beard a bit. But the thing was, we were going to bar hopping. We were going bar hopping with some friends, and it was hysterical because people would pass us in the street and bow to us and say Khaleesi, Khal Drogo. Like people, and at one point, one guy was like, "Yo, Khaleesi, there's an imposter. She's across the street. Do you want me to go get her?" I was like,
Khaleesi, there's an imposter.
There's an imposter. She's across the street.
No, it would have been better if he would have said, "There's a usurper over there."
It was another girl dressed as like a later version of the Khaleesi, like when she was in some kind of it was the blue, like a really pretty blue type of Philly thing. But she had like curls and stuff. But I'm here walking around like in my like I'm ready to go like live outside for a bit, and I was like, she's inconsequential, leave her be.
She's inconsequential, leave her be.
It was a while, but like people passing us and like Khaleesi.
That's hilarious.
I was like, oh shit.
Wait a minute, this is
feels nice. I like
this. This is the outfit she would have worn like
after she got married to Khal Drogo, and they were like wandering the desert and shit.
Yeah. My favorite outfit I had, well, it started off as a clown outfit, but then since it was the 90s, it became Homie the Clown. So my sister was like, "Yo, you should be Homie the Clown. So get like a tube sock, fill it up with something, and just be like, homie, don't play that." And then so that was my favorite outfit because it was like
that's funny as shit.
Because imagine like a little kid be like, homie, don't play that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that was my favorite one. I think because I can't remember any of the other ones like that, but like that was what was like my favorite one. And like you said, it's nice when you're wearing an outfit and everyone gets it, and then everyone kind of really likes it. So then you kind of, you like I said, that's when Halloween is like its most fun. It was like you kind of
dressed up as Eazy-E that one year.
Oh really?
Yeah, I forgot about that. It was freshman year of college.
I forgot when I was. Not everybody got it, but when I came to work and I was Jules from Pulp Fiction.
I got it.
Oh, I've seen a picture of that, right? Yeah, the little wig going.
He had the curly wig.
So I was like,
and the suit.
I was like,
bravo.
it was a Jericho. I went online. I was like, so Michael Jackson, Jericho. And, because I was like, I don't know, Jules isn't a big enough character, so let's just go Michael Jackson, Jericho. Well, as far as I don't know if I could have got a brown one like he had. Okay. So yeah, but I was like,
it was kind of brown.
Yeah, his hair was kind of. So I don't know if I could get. So I was just going to get as close as possible, and I love dressing up in suits. Like I've always liked that. So that was not hard to be like, all right,
Jules Verne.
Jules, and then so yeah, and like that's me. Me and Mimi always do quotables from that movie all the time.
Oh, I love that. That's like my all-time favorite. I word for word I could quote that entire movie.
I'll be walking in a brick room, I'm like, oh, that sure is a tasty sandwich you got over there.
Mind if I have some of your tasty beverage to wash this down?
Yes.
Oh man, yeah, good movie.
That one was good. That one, and I was shocked that I was allowed to watch that as a kid because that's crazy.
Oh yeah.
You were allowed to watch that. What do you mean as a kid?
I was a kid. I was like, so that movie came out in '95, right?
Or before that.
A little bit before.
Like 92.
But what you mean, like single-digit kid?
I was like 6.
You were allowed to watch that at 6 years old?
Yeah, that was a movie night.
Damn.
They didn't discriminate.
I remember it came out in 94. I remember my dad renting that junk, and like he was like, he really didn't want us to watch that shit, but he really wanted to watch it, and like it was just on, and he was just like telling us to get out constantly and shit, get out of the living room.
My parents were cool with like non-sexual content, but like violence, they were like, all right, whatever. So
my parents wasn't for none of that because my dad was a cop. Like he wasn't for none of that violent shit, none of that guns, like nothing. Like when I was in preschool, I was a police officer for Halloween, and they took the toy gun away from me. They were like, you just can't have that shit. Like no.
Well, I mean,
no.
If you're gonna be going into like a school, that makes sense.
I was at my grandparents' house, like shit. We was just going trick or treating. They was like, you can't have that gun.
Oh.
Like, nah, they ain't fuck with none of that shit.
Really?
That's wow.
That sucks.
No, it was living all this life I've lived. Probably the right thing to do.
Well, I mean, it's sad that it makes sense, but it does make sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I said, not with that, but like with kids, it's weird because some kids you can take all that stuff away, and they still end up doing crazy stuff, and then some kids you can give all that too. Yeah. I've never heard a great balance when it comes down to that. I think
my parents just understood like that when I was a kid, like I was good at like taking things in, listening and comprehending what they were saying. You know what I'm saying? Like I was a fast learner that way, so they could do that kind of stuff with me. But yeah, you're right. Some kids you gotta like take a different approach, beat it into their head, or I don't know. Everybody's different, so yeah.
Yeah, because I know another kid watching Pulp Fiction or watching Braveheart like I was doing, or whatever movie that may be considered a little, much for a kid. Maybe that would have been too much for them. Yeah. But for me, it was like, I guess the intent of it was family time.
Yeah.
So like that's the overarching theme.
Yeah. So
anyway.
So that was kind of and plus when you're in a different place, because a lot of this would happen in Italy. When you're in a different place, there isn't a lot of time to actually, to do a whole bunch of other things outside of be around each other.
Right.
So that time becomes really important. So I just think, especially with like kids and outfits and trick or treating or the internet, it's all, I guess it's, like I said, you just do your best, right? Like, you don't really know like how the environment, like even with the internet, it's like, I just like I said, having kids, I that is going to be all, if I ever get fortunate enough to do that, that would be one of those things to where it's like, damn, I'm just playing this shit by ear.
I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, that's all any parent is doing. Like, even the best, well-rounded looking parent that looks like they've got it all together and they have it all figured out, there are millions of parenting books, and that right there tells you that there's no one right way to parent your kids.
That whole situation is literally like a TV trope. Like, you know, on TV when like the main character's jealous of somebody else in his family, and then towards the end of the episode, they find out that they're like either everything's chaotic behind the scenes, or like somebody's like abusive to somebody else or some shit like that. Yeah.
Yep. It's true though.
I'm not laughing about the abusive part. I just thinking about like the like, you know, like those after school specials kind of things. That's what makes me remind me of like oh, actually little Timmy behind the scenes, his dad is treating them really badly.
His mom does coke all day.
Yeah.
His dad's an alcoholic and they just put him on the bus.
Yeah. So I mean, at the end of the day, you're only going to be able to do at the time the best that you know how to do, and you just have to kind of hope that that's enough.
Because like I don't like the second my teenage daughter is like, oh yeah, I'm going out for Halloween. I'm like, okay, cool. So where's your outfit? No, this is my outfit. And I'm like,
Already picture that shit.
Yeah, like, bruh.
You're like, no, it's not.
Bruh. Like, I don't... See, because then you're stuck in a position of, because you don't want... It's not Little House on the Prairie. So, like, culture moves forward. But then you also don't want to be like...
You gotta know your kid. Like,
it's going to depend entirely on your child.
Yeah, you can't, like, take cues from anybody else because their kid going to be totally different from yours. You know what I mean? Like, my... like, me growing up, my dad was a cop. And he could tell me stuff like I knew, like, way back then that, like, the way he was an anomaly. Just, like, him doing his police work and stuff like that. The fact that he only shot his gun one time while he was on duty for like them 25 years, like an anomaly. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. He could tell me this kind of stuff. He could tell me that, like, I like my job, but I don't ever want you going anywhere near a police force because of how dangerous and fucked up it is. He could tell me that stuff and I could retain it back then. But, like, I know friends that wouldn't have been able to take that message. You know what I mean? It would have either went one ear and out the other, or they would have thought some kind of way about it and did the opposite. You know what I mean? It's just, I guess it depends on how you deliver it and who you dealing with.
Yeah.
If your little girl is like, you know, you notice that she's like really not sure of herself, is always like trying to find new groups of friends, always trying a whole bunch of new stuff and cutting her hair all different ways and wearing a whole bunch of different styles of clothes all throughout the year, and you tell her that shit before she goes out the house, she gonna be like, fuck you.
Mimi, were you rebellious?
I didn't have time to be rebellious, honestly. I would no. My parents were smart. They kept my ass busy.
Yeah.
They kept me busy. Like
Busy,
literally
like
so like in like I was in band all through my middle school
What'd you play?
Trumpet.
Oh, nice. I've always wanted to learn how to play a trumpet.
So I was busy with that all through my middle school years and up until my senior year when I didn't do band. But I was either doing band, I was either in track, I was playing softball, I had a job. I was too busy to be rebellious. I had no time or the energy or the wherewithal really to be rebellious much. Because I was always being pushed to do, like, forward. Like, move forward. Do something. You're doing something now. You need to be thinking about what you're doing next. So I didn't have a whole lot of time to be idle and getting into like, deeply into my thoughts and be super... What I would have considered... I don't consider myself to have been a rebellious kid. I think my sister probably would have been a little bit more of a different story.
It's always the second child, because I think... My mom and dad will probably say my sister was the straight-laced one, and I was more of the one that would push the boundaries.
Yeah.
But that would be only in comparison to her. Like, she never strayed from the path that was set. And I was always like, so, yeah, I realize the path is there, but why do I have to follow it to, like, I can't walk adjacent to it, you know? And so, I think, because both of you are both firstborns. Yeah. So, like, I always feel like people who are, like, firstborn kind of have to set an example, or that's kind of not necessarily pushed on them, but kind of expected to be like, you have siblings.
That's kind of how it's laid out.
They're looking at you.
It depends.
Yeah, so I don't know. I've always, like I said, I've always been like the baby, so I don't know how to, literally and figuratively.
Not the baby, but the baby.
I was like, where is she going? I was like, oh yeah.
That's funny.
No.
And I feel you. Like my luckily for me, you know, I was like I have to check my privilege all the time, all day, every day because I have it. You know what I'm saying? Like my parents like realized that like the three of us were different. You know what I'm saying?
What do you mean
like,
by privilege? Because that's an interesting word to use.
So my privilege meaning that my parents actually recognized their shit and like did things to foster each of us in whatever areas we needed to be supported in. You know what I mean? Like, there was no like predetermined path for any of us in really any kind of way. Like there was guidelines. You know what I mean? There was certain stuff they would like, you know, try to persuade us to do or not do. But, like, they weren't, like, straight up trying to make us do stuff. You know what I mean? I got into football, basketball, band, like, kind of on my own. You know what I mean? At school, they mentioned it was a thing. I want to do it. You know what I mean? My dad, like, when I was younger, do you want to play football? Yeah. Like, that's what it was. You know what I mean? So, like, when I got older and I was getting out, you know, closer to graduating high school and stuff, it was more of a thing where you got to do something, but we're not going to push you in any, you know, particular direction. I had already decided on my own that, like, I wanted to go to college. I just didn't know what for. So, like, you know, I got into college. You know, it is what it is. Like, when I say I got to check my privilege, it's because that, like, a lot of people's parents don't give their kids that kind of leeway.
No, they don't.
That kind of room to, like, explore.
Yeah. Like, a lot of times parents are like, this is who I need you to be, whether it's something that speaks to you or not, because either I'm trying to live vicariously through you, or, you know, just based on my worldview, it doesn't matter if your perception of the world is different, this is how you're going to be.
And we've talked about that before, like, you've talked about it with your parents, I've talked about it just, like, in the sense of, like, general, like, black people or where we grew up with, like, there's a lot of black folks, is, like, that mentality where, like, you know, these are the things that if you do them and follow the plan, like, you're going to be straight, so you need to choose one of these. And that's the mindset for, like, a lot of people, you know what I mean? When I check my privilege, I have to check the fact that, like, I wasn't subject to that. You know
were given choices.
Yeah.
Well, and I think, and to be fair to the people, and like I said, I don't know everybody's individual. I just know it from the outside looking in. The people we grew up around, like, we had a chance to be young adults in a way that maybe we weren't pushed out of the nest to the same extent that
all of us didn't necessarily, like, you know, have plans. Like, after high school, I'm enrolled in this school and I'm going, like,
What the?
Damn it. I was trying to save that.
Jesus. Oh my God.
me.
Oh my
God. Wait, he got a Rex? Like, what was it?
I'm actually really disappointed in my lack of reaction initially.
No, I was
froze like shit. Yeah. I shouldn't have been playing with this show the whole time. This is supposed to be my bow staff.
Oh my God.
That's what they call it now?
That's what I call it.
Oh, jeez.
No, cause
you're sitting next to him next week.
No, because what was happening was, it was perfect. It was like the Prince silhouette in the Super Bowl where it was just like, yeah. So that's why I was just like, wait, what? I was like, that wasn't supposed to happen.
And I'm not sure whether to be, like, impressed with myself or disappointed at my lack of initial reaction.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, how do you evaluate that?
I don't know. I've either got nerves of steel or no self-preservation instinct of any kind.
What was happening before?
Yeah, I was about to ask you. Yeah, what the fuck was I talking about?
We were talking. So
what privilege?
We were no.
It was after that.
It was after that. I was saying how in our neighborhood we were allowed to be our.
we were allowed to be young adults.
Yeah, young adults.
So not all of us had like really set in place plans getting out of high school, and you know, a lot of us were able to like sit and figure that out. Like we had that room. Like most of our parents gave us that room.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it turned out pretty well for a lot of us, because I think if we were to push our nets, maybe it would have been a lot harder.
Yeah.
And we probably would have. And some people, like, they don't get the necessity of that.
Yeah.
Like, we can't take care of you anymore now.
Yeah, exactly.
Like we have younger people underneath you that we have to now do. So you have to figure out something.
Yeah.
And I feel like, especially in the environment with millennials and the lack of job opportunities and what was going on around 07, 08, housing market crashed. Mm-hmm. We're in a recession. Mm-hmm. Like, yo, this isn't the best opportunity. Like, it wasn't like, Land of Opportunity, Home of the Brave and stuff. Like, there's stuff going on here that's not necessarily out in our control. Like, to being like, oh yeah, millennials are lazy. It's like, but like, this is the worst thing since the Great Depression.
Yeah, like ain't nothing to do. You know what I'm saying? Like
so
either you not working, or you working like the worst jobs, while people are always telling you you should be happy you have a job. Like no,
why?
Like nah. Like I understand that like there's people that got it worse off than me, but like I am not supposed to be in this position because this ain't what I worked for.
Yeah, I don't want to be at Pizza Hut. My feet hurt.
Yeah, exactly. I used to be working at T-Mobile and Verizon up on my feet all day, especially at Verizon when I had to wear dress shoes at work and shit. And just come home. Like, I never had time for anything. Wake up an hour before work, take a shower, and drive 10 minutes down the street to the Verizon store, and then get off work and immediately fall asleep on the couch once I take my shoes off.
And we all kind of work similar like jobs. Like that was
a lot of retail.
Yeah, a lot of retail, and then a lot of and I think that was it. And but I thought it was unique to our area, but it wasn't unique to our area. It was a lot of people that were, especially at that time period, that was doing a lot of similar stuff. So, so that's why I think I posted something the other day. Shout out to you, Scott. He he sent a picture back and he's like, yeah, it was like some weird. I'm like, so what are you even saying here? We all became Super Saiyans, and I was like, what are you even saying now?
Hold on, what did he send you?
Yeah, what did he? What?
It was a photo of all of us went to.
That Kings of Beans, right?
Yeah. So then he sent it back a photo of like it was all this high what's it called, graphics put onto it. And I'm like, what is this supposed to represent, Scott? And I was like, then when he said it was because his mind works a little differently, which is I can relate to that, so I'm not making fun of you. I didn't get what he was saying, so he explained it. I was like, okay, I still don't understand this. He's like, we're all leveled up. We've all grown since then. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, I guess you could say we all have gone in our separate paths and gone to a different space. And I guess even you can kind of relate to that, with where you start off in Winchester, ended up in Northern Virginia.
Oh, yeah. For lots of different reasons, but yes.
So
I have grown a lot as a person in the last, several years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, that's cool. Did you ever imagine you being in the position, like being here and doing all this kind of stuff?
No. No, I really didn't.
Yeah.
No.
It's weird because I always have, but there was a very, very long time where I had given up on that shit and thought that I wasn't gonna be able to be doing any of this stuff ever. I was trying to learn Excel and planning on my next degree move to be in something business related and all sorts of other shit. Mm-hmm. But it worked out.
Yeah,
now there's an iPhone recording video and I'm doing all this stuff.
I mean, and Mimi is a TikTok star, and it's. But then I don't know,
Not really.
I mean, you're 7,000, followers away from being official, right? Literally.
Oh, I didn't understand what you were saying at first. I was like, no, I don't have 7,000 followers. No. Yes.
Yeah, but when I first came to her about this whole thing, she was like, okay. I had to convince her. So then it wasn't even a thought process of let me do a TikTok. It's just interesting to see how, how things just progress. And now it's literally you could always start from one spot and then kind of, naturally in progression, I'm going to do this and, do
you
that.
ever teach somebody how to do something small and then some way down the road, they way better than you at that shit. And it's just yo, that's wild. Cause I remember when this motherfucker ain't even know the difference between the left and the right button on the mouse. Mm-hmm. And now that,
It's very satisfying to watch someone really blossom knowing that you were a part of that beginning.
Yeah.
So
that's how I feel about your TikTok. So yeah, no, it's amazing.
Thanks, Dad. I'm so glad that you're proud of me.
I begged her to be on camera, and she didn't want to do
it.
Like,
no, that's not.
And now she's like, can't get her off of the camera, and like just everywhere. It's crazy.
That's true.
No.
But yeah.
But no, hopefully everybody stays safe tonight.
Yeah,
and
yes,
has fun. At least in our neck of the woods, it seems like it's going to be a pretty nice day. It's been very rainy all week.
Yeah, it's beautiful today.
Yeah, no. So
the only reason I've been able to sit in this hot ass jacket this entire time and not take it off because it's not blazing outside.
I'm impressed that you've not melted into it like just a puddle of it.
I don't know if you've noticed, but I also have not moved much at all.
That's true. You've been very still.
Yes.
Yeah, no.
Other than your metallic surprise, you've been very still.
Wait, that was supposed to come later. I'm like, yo.
I wish this joint was gold because that would have made the perfect joke.
No, but you know what?
Gold member.
I should have just asked what else is to come later because like I was like, if that's just
don't worry about it. You're not the one sitting next to it.
I was like, wait.
I'm the buffer.
I was like, wait, like are those cars gonna explode or something?
See, like I had this in my hand. What I really needed to have in my hand was like a fidget spinner or something, and that's why it went off like that. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Like knock anybody out with it, but no.
I mean, that is kind of the point of it, but
yeah,
not
sure.
neither of y'all.
But yeah, so be safe. Like if you're gonna be out, like going to parties and stuff, or if you're gonna be out trick or treating and stuff, just be safe. You know, don't be doing anything too terribly wild this evening. Keep your eyes open and have fun. Be respectful of everybody's space and get yourself some really tasty treats, whether they're homemade or not. Though I hope you can find. Well, no, I don't think that really people are comfortable doing homemade stuff anymore.
Probably not like that. Nah, not at all.
That's too bad. That's too bad.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that kids are actually getting able to do the trick or treating this year, and they're not doing the vid isn't screwed that up.
It had to be rough last couple of years, like real bad.
Yeah. Well, at least the past year,
last year, the year before was actually normal.
Yeah, because COVID hadn't hit yet.
Man, like everything that's happened in the last 2-3 years is just scrambled to me. I can't ever place it.
No, it is hard. You're right.
Trying to think of life pre-COVID, it's like what? Wait, was that 2000?
Yeah, if it happened anywhere between the end of 2019 and now, like that shit is real fuzzy. Yeah.
Yeah, because you do lines of demarcations about what I was doing and when, and yeah, it has been pretty rough. Like trying to figure out, wait, when was quarantine?
Yeah. How long were we? Like what? So yeah, I'm excited. I'm hoping that we only got like 8 or 10 kids last year for trick or treaters, so I'm hoping that we get a bigger wave. Because we got the yard all decorated, we got the house ready to go, we got costumes ready. Like I won't be Khaleesi, I'll be something different this year. But I'm super excited, and I hope you guys have a great holiday and get you all some like tasty treats. And I have the final word of the week for our first rotation.
Oh, we have Z
through the alphabet.
Zagazao.
No, that's not it.
No, that was a Beanie Man reference. Shout out. I was like, yo, there we go. I was like.
All right, so Mimi's word of the week. Zinnober.
Zinnober.
Zinnober. Zinnober.
Zinnober.
Nah, like.
Is it a noun?
No.
Verb?
No.
Adjective.
Yes.
Zinnober.
So it's just something. Okay. Describe something.
Does that have to do with heat?
No.
Color.
Perhaps.
Okay.
Yes. Zinnober.
Another word for the color blue?
No.
Something warm.
No. Technically, it's not. It's in the
cold.
The cool color wheel.
Zinnober.
Yep.
Like a baby iceberg?
Okay, you're not allowed to guess anymore. You get another block. You're another verbal timeout.
Something like violet hued.
Nope.
Okay, I'll give up then.
Chrome green.
Chrome green.
Chrome green.
You were on the right track as far as the colors.
Yeah, I was almost at green. I was going towards blue.
Is chrome green.
Which happens to be Mimi's favorite color is green.
I do love green. And that's why I love your vest so much.
Yeah.
Yes. That
I hope you don't disappear behind with the green screen. You'll just see his arms and his head.
We should be straight.
But yeah.
Well, because I think this couch gives him a nice little contrast.
A little bit, yeah. So are you doing the... What are you doing?
Oh, it's just in my hand. My bad.
Okay.
I mean, I always gotta be ready to attack and shit. So you can't ever be.
Truth.
Oh shit.
Oh God.
So we'll see you next week. Bye.